Good morning, my XRP tribe, my army, my XRP army, my tribe, my, everybody out there in YouTube land. Hey, welcome. I was listening a bit ago, a few days ago, to a Russian minister talking to a cabinet of people in the Russian government and explaining about what the U.S. is doing with stable coins. That made me think, what is a stable coin? Something that's tied to the dollar? Something that's tied to what? To real estate, to gold, to what makes it stable? Stable's a word. But his contention was, and I think it's very obvious, the U.S. doesn't use the same words, but it's very obvious that that what this guy is saying is essentially true. And what he was saying is that the United States is going to use stable coins to prop up the dollar on the world stage as the reserve currency. And I think that's exactly what's happening. The United States can make it so that in order to have stable coins function, you've got to back it with U.S. treasuries, or in that case, the dollar, and thereby extending the life of the U.S. fiat system. I think there's an awful lot of credibility to that. And even if you listen to the United States, the words of the United States, that's pretty much what they're doing. They're going to, he went on further to say they will peg it to the US dollar, these stable coins, and then they will devalue. And that will help to reduce the debt, so to speak. The problem with that is, in reducing the dollar, you create an incredible amount, this gigantic tsunami of inflation, as people rush to get rid of their dollars because they had half the value that they did the day before, or whatever the factor is. Back in the day when Roosevelt revalued gold, he did it 75% in one day. And that gave his friends an incredible boost in wealth overnight. That's just the way the world works, my friends, my tribe members, my XRP army. That's the way the world works. The big people screw up and the little people pay for it. More and more, I'm simply convinced that the world's financial system is changing, and if you're not on board the rocket ship, you'll just get run over by that tsunami. It's awesome that we've had 2 quarters where, after the tariffs, we have a little bit of a surplus, I believe. But you can't pay down the debt. Do not believe for one moment that they are going to pay down the debt. That is a fallacy. You do that and you reduce the money supply. The money supply is based upon debt. You reduce the money supply, you reduce taxation, and you reduce activity. The velocity of money is what makes an economy work. And if the velocity slows down, the economy grinds to a halt. People aren't buying, people don't need to be making. If people aren't making, they're not buying because they're not being paid. And it's a very rapid downward spiral. So you can't reduce the debt. The system is designed so that it requires ever increasing amounts of debt. There's never any other formula that works in a fiat system, and they all end in the same place. Ruin for the people that hold that paper. So if you got paper laying around, I suggest, I'm not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, but I suggest you get out of that paper. And tangible items will do quite well. And I believe XRP is going to do extremely well. That's why I'm in it very heavily. Also other things that are tangible, but I believe XRP is going to replace the SWIFT system, and in that replacement, it will have great value in the very near future. Hey, XRP, $100,000 today, please. That would be nice. That would be really awesome. Retirement today. Woohoo! God bless you all. Take care. And I'm